Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. I am going to give you a quick tutorial on a dungeon XP grinder that works for zombies and skeletons. This is basically the front part, the only part anyone ever needs to see. I have made a fully automated system based on a lot of other designs I've seen, the biggest influence I believe being Asuma's mob grinder that he used in Spellbound Caves, as well as he made a tutorial on parts of it. Basically, it's a little different because I have this pressure plate, and this pressure plate turns on and off the entire system. It does everything for you. It turns the lights off in the spawn room. It stops them from dropping, or it lets them drop, so you can work on it anytime you're not standing on this pressure plate. So let's see, I have about 23 there, and I can throw my splash potion at it, and I get all the handy dandy drops. Just grab all this stuff. Okay. Now you'll notice if I step on this pressure plate, I'm going to walk around with a bone for the rest of the day. When I step on this pressure plate, these lights turn on, and if you watch closely, that redstone lamp that you can see in the background is going to turn off. That redstone lamp is only an indicator lamp. It is telling me that the lights in the room right now are on, and I step on here and I can see that it goes off. Now that tells me that the room behind me, or in front of me, is now dark, and skeletons or zombies or whatever can now spawn. I am going to put a manual override switch in here to leave my system on. I'm going to walk around and I'm going to show you what it does. So I have lights on all four sides. I have a brewing station back here. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I have lights on all four sides, and that one at the top is not actually part of the room. You can't see it in there. And it consists of basically three parts. There's the room, there's the ascension tube, and there's the drop tube. It's very, very simple to use. The wiring's very simple, but let's start with the room. So here is a deconstructed view of the room. If you can suspend some disbelief, the glowstone is a spawner, the lapis is water, everything else is the room because the blocks in the room itself don't matter. So the room itself is 9 blocks by 9 blocks, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tall on the inside, or 7 tall depending on where you're standing. So if you find a dungeon, you see this spawner, what you want to do is you want to dig down 2 levels so that you're here, and dig out a 9 by 9 room. You want to dig up 3 blocks so that the ceiling is 4 blocks above you. And it's easy to tell if you just take a block, especially one that's easy to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, 4. Should be 4 in every direction. You should be 2 below. And like I said, there should be 3 air spaces above. Now the reason this pillar is here is actually for a very good reason, and this was directly from Asuma. If you don't have that here, this is a spawn location for either your zombies or your skeletons. And if they do spawn here, with the new AIs, they're just going to stand here, and they're going to spin, and they're going to jump, and they're going to be bored. And they are going to take up one of your 6 possible mobs that will spawn from this spawner. Spawners do have a limit of 6 mobs within the vicinity, and it's like 10 blocks out, I believe, or something. I don't remember the exact number, I apologize, but I will get into that in a second. So here what you're going to do is you're going to have your 9 by 9 room, you're going to put your water sources here, and your water sources will stop here. So none of this will be wet now. So what I always do is I just make the room, I put these 3 here, I put the water source, and then I wait and see how far it goes, and then I just dig these out. You have to dig all of them out, or it'll end up pushing you to one side or the other, and all of your mobs will get stuck over here, and they'll be fighting the current. You want them to all end up going down the tunnel, and we'll look at that over there. But as far as numbers go, you as the player, want to stand far enough away, close enough that the monster spawner still works. The monster spawner will stop working 16 blocks away. So you want to be standing 16 or closer. I'm on block right here. This is block 16. That is close enough. If I step back here to block 17, I'm too far away, and that spawner won't work at all. In this case, that glowstone won't work at all. So you want to make sure that you're within 16 blocks. However, and the exact opposite of that, you want to get your monsters, whether they're zombies or skeletons, as far away from that spawner as possible, so that you can, so that more of them will continue spawning in the room. Otherwise, you'll have 6 monsters just land on your platform and stand there, and nothing else will spawn from there until you kill those. So this 15 blocks away, where they land, is the perfect number. You standing 16 blocks away is the perfect number, because any further away and you can't do anything anymore. So that's why this room is set up like this. I will give you an overview so you can look at, you can count them. You'll notice I didn't put the corner one in there because you don't need it. I didn't put it in those either. I put some half slabs just for looks. It's not incredibly pretty, but it's nice. And then here's the better look at the floor. Now would be a good time to pause your video if you're counting. This tube here, which brings them all up, and that's that one there with the checkerboard water, doesn't matter. You can put it here, you can put it here, you can put it here, you can put it all the way out here, have them come up, drop over, drop 1 block and fall. This doesn't matter. It's absolutely convenient at this point. I liked it here because it got it away from the spawner. It gave me some room for the wires, which there isn't a lot, and I could actually condense that even more if I needed to, but I didn't feel it was necessary. It's a XP grinder. They're not known to be pretty. But let's look at the wiring. I'm going to come over to this one. This one is the exact same thing, except I raised it up to this block here. So what you want to do is you have your pressure plate, and you have your half slab, and you have your glowstone lamps. These aren't necessary. They're quite decorative, but they're nice. When I step on here, you'll see the torch on this block goes out, and it also makes all of the redstone over there go out. So what that's doing is this torch powers this redstone right here, which goes here and goes out. These 2 lines, this line splits and goes to all 4 lamps. Actually, it's only going to 3 lamps because I want to show you that one. That one's a little different. But it also turns around, and with these repeaters, powers this block, which unpowers this torch. So it's not sending any power there. If this torch went out, pretend that was out, this will light. And when you're standing on it, these will be lit, and those will be unlit. So like I said, this comes around here. You'll need some repeaters, and it comes across here. The reason it's 1 block away is if you have this set up, let's see, this way, nothing will power. And it's kind of unfortunate because I would like it to be a little closer just to keep it compact, but I can't. What I could do is I could back this up one more. I could actually put a block right there. Now, because this redstone is powering this block, that block is powering that redstone lamp, which is figures, which is nice. But I decided against that because now I can't see, and I want to be able to just walk right around and look, make sure my system is safe before I start going in it. You know, like I said, this shows the water here. Coming down, and like I said before, if these blocks were here, the water would stop and not continue, and it would close my gate, but ignore that. So you do have to break these blocks so that it does it, and if you don't break all of them, you'll see here, I will get stuck here instead of where I want to be. So, now, I will come out here and I'll look at this chute, which is stuck. I'm actually going to put a block right here so I can stop fighting the current while I talk. This is the easy part, actually. It looks very difficult, but it's not hard to do. What you do is you take a sign and you put it right there at the bottom, and you take a fence gate, or put a sign on a wall, but this is symmetrical, so I liked it better. And you put a fence gate there, and what that does is that allows this water flow to continue this way. But it doesn't allow it to come back. So if this fence gate was removed, or if a sign was removed, it is now pushing me out of the tunnel, which is the exact opposite of what we want. So we want to make sure that we have a fence gate, or a sign, and you put that there, and that stops this source block from coming... Oh, I didn't want to break it. This source block from coming at me. But it still lets the zombies or skeletons through. The way mob AI works, when they find their heads are in water, they'll start swimming, then they can breathe, but they'll continue bouncing. When they hit this one with their head goes through it, because of the bounce, they'll swim up, and so on and so forth, all the way up this tunnel. Our tube. This tube comes up. I'm missing a water. Oh, alright. There's no zombies in this one anyway. This one comes up. I have the killer there. And they come through here, and they drop down one, which is actually very important, and they come down here. So this drop, not counting this block, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 1/2. And I really like using this half block because it makes it a lot more consistent. I tried 23, and I had a lot dying and a lot not dying. I tried 21, and I had a lot that were more than one hit kills. But 21.5 seems to be the magic number, and that works perfectly. But with the water, every other block here, it ends up that you need to go up one more and then come down. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about this last lamp. This lamp is a little bit different, and this lamp is going to do what I was just talking about. I'm going to put a block in front of it, and I'm going to run a wire over here, and that will happily power my 4th lamp. Now, with 4 lamps in the room, that is enough light that nothing will spawn until you turn the lights off by stepping on the plate. The only other thing is I do have this drowner up here, so when this block is forward, they end up with their head in this block and they drown, and that is only to prevent lag in the game. The way we power that, and I did it on that one a little prettier than I'm going to do it here, but you just take some wool, you run it down the wall, and you come off of here, and I'm going to run up and over, and that's going to power the block. It's going to power that light, and then everything's going to work. And then on the other side, I did this out of sandstone, and I came down, and then I worked around the redstone. And you can see over here that I actually used some of the different sandstone textures and made it pretty, but that is whatever you would like to do. And I left the lever on. I'm like, why is the lights not on? Where's my pressure plates? There. This is the manual override, which is not recommended because it will leave you stuck. Also, I like the design better with a half block here. Ooh, hello, arrows. But with skeletons, you can't do that because if they see you, they can shoot through this. So with the skeletons, you have to have the full block. If it's a zombie spawner that you find, you can absolutely do it with a half block, and it gives you a lot more room to see. You can watch them going up the tube, etc. So I think that about covers it. The only thing I want to do is I want to show you how to actually make the splash potions. But give me just a second to... I'm going to get rid of this rain, or wait till it stops raining. I'm going to sort out my inventory, and I will be right back. I actually just remembered, in the interest of tutorials, if you're trying to get rid of rain, if you sleep... I can't rest now, there are monsters nearby. Let's go where there are less monsters. If you sleep in a bed and make it daytime, then the rain will stop after a few seconds, which is really useful. This works on SMP and single player. So now it's a beautiful day out. So anyway, back to sorting the inventory, and I'll be right back. one problem I have when people make XP grinders and mob farms is they tell you, you just throw a splash potion at the mobs and it'll kill them all for you. But nobody ever really talks about potions in any videos, and so I wanted to add this in at the end here, just as a quick tutorial, because I really hate the way that the wiki has the potions and how they work, because you have to go and you look at this one thing which relies on this other thing which has to be crafted, which relies on this other, and it's just it's a rabbit hole that you shouldn't have to chase down, and it's a lot easier to do it this way. So since I already went down that rabbit hole and figured it out, here's the long and short of how you create the splash potion that we do. And what it is it's this one here, Splash Potion of Healing. It's actually instant health. It's health for the player, and it hurts the monsters. It works on spiders, it works on zombies, it works on skeletons. I don't know if it works on anything else. I haven't done any tests. But I'm also instant health too, and I'll show you how to do that. That's optional if you want to do that. But let's start by simply making bottles, because to make a potion you need glass bottles. So you take 3 pieces of glass and you put them in the exact same shape you would make a bucket out of iron, and you end up with 3 glass bottles. I take my 3 glass bottles, I come over to here to my infinite water source, right click 3 times, I fill up my 3 bottles. Now I go over to my brewing stand. You'll notice all of my brewing stands are full because you can see the bottles on them, and I did that so that I didn't have to wait for them to actually brew. So I take my 3 water bottles and I put them up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 nether wart to these 3 bottles. Now I put that in the oven, I let it bake for a second, and what I get is Awkward Potion. Awkward Potion has no effects whatsoever. It is sort of the base of all the potions that I know of. I haven't done. I'm new to potions myself, so I apologize if I'm giving incorrect information, but it's the base for this potion anyway. What you're going to add to this potion is a Glistering Melon. And yes, that is correctly pronounced. I had to look it up a couple of times, and it is not glistening, it's an R. I don't know if it's a typo for Mojang or what, but that's okay. In order to get a melon, what you want to do is you want to take 1 melon slice and 1 gold nugget and put them on the bench. You can put them anywhere on the bench. There's no pattern for this. Just put the 2 together, grab some melon. You actually don't even need the crafting table. You could just do it right off your inventory screen, assuming you're not creative and there is an inventory screen. And you're going to come over and you're going to put the Glistering Melon in here with the Awkward Potion. Let that cook, and it ends up as a potion of healing. So this step is optional now that I'm going to show you. This potion of healing could instantly move over to the gunpowder station and make it a splash potion. Spoiler alert, it uses gunpowder. But if you want to make it a little bit stronger, then you add a piece of glowstone, and what that does is it takes the instant health potion and it makes it an instant health 2 potion. Just like getting a higher enchant. It makes it a little bit better. You probably don't need it for a drop XP farm if you have it timed right, if you have it the distance worked out right, or for a crusher if you have it timed right. But it's, glowstone's cheap, it's not too bad. So anyway, we have this instant health, we want to make it a splash potion. We come here, we put the gunpowder in, and what we end up with is this splash potion. And the bottle's shaped a little bit differently. You can see it's kind of got a little curve to it. And that's how you know it's a splash potion as compared to this potion with the cork on the top. So this is our splash potion, and what we do is, I might as well grab these guys too, is we will take this and we're going to bring it over to our grinder, and I put a lever on the grinder again so that it was running while I was back there, and we're going to throw it at the guys, and we're going to kill them all. And now I'm not going to be able to see for a minute, but that's okay. So this is the potion of healing. Well, you can actually lose them as you run. That's funny. And that's how you make your splash potions for your XP grinders. Again, hope you guys had a good time, and hope you learned something. And thanks for watching.